Hi. Hi, everyone. I'm just going to give everybody a minute to arrive. How's everyone? I'm going to share in my group. Just going to wait for a couple minutes for everybody to get here. In the meantime, please say hello so I know you're here and we can connect. What this is all about. This is all about us connecting, and I would love to see who's here and say hello before we actually get started. In the meantime, I'm sharing this Facebook Live in my group. And if you would like to do that, please share. If you go to the bottom of where you see this video playing, you can click the share button and you can share it on your wall and invite your friends to come and join, which would be fantastic. I'd love to have your friends join us too. And I'm about to do that myself. Let me check the comments. Okay, and we can get started. One other thing I'm going to do, share to a page. Okay, all of the logistics have been taken care of. So let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Patty Rose Show. I am Patty Rose, and I am on a mission to inspire, motivate, and empower you to live your best life and build the business of your dreams. And the reason I want so much to help you follow your dreams is that I do believe in dreams coming true, because I've actually been fortunate enough to have real life dream come true moments that I will be sharing on the episodes, and I actually have shared in the previous week. So if you missed those, make sure you go check those out later. But for now, stay with me today because we got some fun, juicy topics to talk about. And this is week 4 of my 4-week empowerment series. I wanted to kick off the empowerment series for you, for the Patty Rose Show, so that I could help you really start to cultivate these nuances of your uniqueness, right? The nuances of you showing up and shining as you are for yourself and for the people who are looking for you and who need you and who are waiting for you. And the empowerment series was about that, like building the foundation so that you can create practices with simple go-tos, like top of mind, like, oh, I could do this and it doesn't cost money and I could do it quickly, and maybe I need to up-level my confidence today, or maybe I'm feeling a little sluggish. I can up-level my energy. Maybe I can just get really clear on my purpose and my why, and then show up and have a great, strong conversation with someone. So that was a lot of why I wanted to share the empowerment series with you, so that you could really start to cultivate these things for yourself. So what's going to happen next is I'm going to have another series. I'm going to make an announcement later. I'll tell you all about it. Stick with me for a little while. I want to get through some of the things for today. I just saw a heart come up. Thank you so much. So I want to get into today some of the things that we can do to kind of pull this together, right? To have follow through on the things that we talked about and why that's important. So basically, basically, this is something I like to call idea interruption, right? So it's not that your ideas get interrupted, because if you're an idea generator and a multi-passionate and a creative, the flow of ideas is not the problem, right? It's like, I got those coming at me all day long. What happens is, very often, there's, when you start to take action on the idea, self-doubt can creep in, lack of enthusiasm, because if it takes too long, a multi-passionate will often get bored, right? Creative people need to be creative. We need to be moving. We need to be doing. So if something takes too long, it gets like old. It's like stale. It's like, I got to do something else. And I got all these really fun, shiny ideas up here that are calling at me. And maybe I'll do one of those today. So this idea interruption is smack. You don't actually get the idea done. It doesn't actually become what you intended for it to become. And so what I want to help you with today is what I call internal follow through. So it's a little different from, the icky follow through that nobody likes to talk about. Maybe some people like to talk about it. For me, it's kind of like in the last episode when I talked about market research, and I was like, I think I'm going to cringe when I say this. The internal follow through is better for me and people who I work with than you have to have good follow through series mechanisms. So, by the way, today I'm drinking an iced coffee. I like to talk about my coffee drinks. I actually, last year, I was looking to get off dairy, which I did do, by the way, and it was really good. I did it for almost a whole year. So I was looking to get off dairy, and I used to drink my cappuccino style drinks with whole milk. So I was researching how to drink my espresso in a way that would still taste good and, didn't have the dairy. And I've tried all the other ones. I tried oat milk and almond milk I'm allergic to, and I can't drink soy, I'm allergic to that. So all these things. I had to keep researching, and I found a recipe. I actually love this recipe so much, so I wrote a whole blog post on it. You can go check out my website, pattyrose.com, and check out my blog, because I wrote a whole website about this recipe, which is a Martha Stewart recipe. And you guys, it's simple. It's ice, seltzer, and lemon, and espresso. So, but if you want to know more about it, go check out my blog, and you'll have a little fun recipe there. So back to the content. Let me say hello. Hi, Helen. How are you today? Helen says, comparing ourselves to others is the total setback. Yes, it so is. Self-doubt is such a challenge. Absolutely, absolutely. That's why this internal follow-through that we did work to support it, right? We did work in the last few weeks where episode 1, we talked about overcoming discouragement and use the inspiration bolt activity or exercise so that to help build confidence, right? To get really clear on your ideas and what ones were important and why they're important to you, and then that helps build confidence. So, but overcoming discouragement and how confidence is like the best stand-in to like kick discouragement out the door. And then episode 2, we talked about consistency and being persistent. And the idea that if you are continually persistent on following your dreams and the things you love to do, right? And the things that make you feel lit up and wanting to shine, that you are being consistent over the long term. And I think that this idea of consistency, especially in this world of social media, like you have to post 3 times a day at these intervals, makes a creative person feel kind of wonky. And the most important thing is that you look at those 2 things, consistency and persistence, and really decide for yourself if you have been on the path to where you want to be. And a lot of times you can look at look at the things you've done over the last, recent past or number of years and pull together like, wow, I never realized that these things that are completely unrelated seemingly would lead me here, where they all come together. So in that, there's a little bit of self-trust, right? And a little bit of just kind of having some faith, right? Like, we could just be a little more calm about it and understand that it can be a process. And I talked also on that episode about my dance story, which was one of my real life dream come true moments, where my persistence in following different kinds of movement led me to perform on a stage, right? Led me to this moment. That's episode 2. That's episode 2 on consistency and persistence. If you want to go check that out, it's a really, really, for me, very profound moment in life, and I hope it's inspirational for you too. And then last week we talked about like putting action behind your ideas. Like, what can you do to continually put action to make these ideas come to life? So we talked about having a good, strong support system for the days that were a little more challenging. We talked about being very clear on the what and the why and the who. We talked about the whole idea of what I said before, like the market research, and how it makes me go, ah. So my method to that, and what I teach my clients, is what in your heart is giving to their heart, and whose heart needs what is in your heart. Like, if you really go into the heart of it, get into the heart of things, it always feels so much better. It doesn't have to feel like icky marketing. So then we talked about like just taking the leap, stepping out, doing the thing. And those are all things to support you taking action. And in that, today, I want to go over how you can make these things a practice, right? And make them your own. Because the thing here is that with empowerment, I can come here and I can teach, and I can give you stories to motivate, and I can be empowering and inspiring. I would do my best. I love to do that. But what really, really makes it special is when you make it your own. When you take something that someone else teaches you or gives to you, and you make it yours, like you mold it to how it feels right for you, and you start to make it a practice. And so self-empowerment is where it really, really is at. That's where what it all comes down to. And thank you for the hearts. And you know something, if you take these practices and make them your own, and you're practicing your own self-empowerment, I feel that I have been able to impart something special. I feel great. That gives back to me, because I feel like I've done a job well done, right? So that's going to be the most important thing, is to make it your own. And there was a method that I used to teach when I first started teaching dance. There was a ballroom dance studio, and it was like, they had a method, they had a model, and everybody followed that model. But over my teaching career, that model never felt right for me. So as a creative and as a multi-passionate, like, having your own path and being really clear on how to make it work is very important. So I always felt it was more important for me to teach my students how to communicate with one another on the floor while they were learning the steps. They had to learn the footwork, right? That's just, you have to learn what to do with your feet. But I want you to be able to communicate that with your partner now. And that wasn't the model of I was being taught, right? That was something I developed on my own. And that was a piece of being creative and just making things your own. Take everything that comes to you and build your own structure around it so that it feels good to you. And in that, you get to honor your creativity and your uniqueness and your beautiful zone of genius, and you get to think and live outside the box, right? I don't know if anybody saw the post I put earlier. It's like, you don't belong inside a box. So what other ways can you look at things that come along your path, and how can you make them your own? And all of those acts are self-empowering, right? All of those acts squash self-doubt and lack of confidence and poor self-esteem. Like, the more you practice these things and make them your own and then own them. Okay, here's a story. So, there's a big thing in the world about, the early bird catches the worm, and it may be true. And, early to rise, whatever, all these things, because our society lives on a basic 9 to 5, right? That's the way our society. But there are so many of us that don't live on that. So I used to feel embarrassed, right? I used to feel embarrassed that I'm a night owl. But there was a point in my life, I was going to say my adulthood, right? There was a point in time where I said, you know what? This is who I am. This is also part of how my creativity flows. Like, I am creative at night. At 10 o'clock, the light bulb goes on and I start to play. I start to create. I start to make things. I start projects. I mean, it's just a thing. And it's been this way my entire adult life. Probably when I was a kid too, I just don't remember. So, it's like, what can you do to honor that, right? There was a point in time where I just had to say, you know what, I'm not going to be embarrassed about this anymore. When it comes up, I say, yeah, no, I'm a night owl. So if I'm working on a project and my client is waiting for something, I get it today, they're going to find it in their inbox tomorrow morning when they wake up, but I probably just sent it like an hour or two prior, right? So what it really got to, though, was owning that about myself and not being embarrassed about it. And I think that's one of the most important things you could do. And that's part of the self-empowerment practice. Like, this is what I do to keep myself confident and happy and full of joy and showing up for other people. And so, okay, I am going to get off my soapbox about being self-empowered right now, because I love it so much that I just really want to impart that thought with you as we end the empowerment series. And don't go anywhere, because I am going to announce what's next in a little bit. So also make sure that to get any updates, you go to pattyrose.com/goodies, GOODIES, for all the great things, because this night owl sometimes in the middle of the night decides to create something fun and amazing for you, and I put it in the goodies group file for you to go and get. So go ahead and join the goodies group. I would love to have you there, and you'll get updates on when my shows are and all that kind of stuff also. So we talked about internal follow through. So what is it anyway? Oh, hey, I'm going to check in for a second. Lizzie's here, and I'm getting lots of hearts, and Janet's here. Hi, Janet. Oh my gosh, how are you? I have to go back in to see some of these comments real quick, and then I will go into the internal follow-through. So, okay, yes, let's have a little coffee break, everybody. Helen says she'll look it up. Yes, Helen, it's really good. I think you would like it. Lizzie's here, Helen's here. I'm seeing lots of waves and hearts, and Janet's here, and I'm so happy to have everybody. Thanks for being here. Okay, so what the heck is this anyway? What am I talking about? Internal follow-through. Like, I like to make up words. So, basically, here it is in a nutshell. The only way that I have ever known to make something come to life is when I totally, really, like in every fiber of my being, feel it. I feel that it's aligned with my soul purpose. I feel that I can do good. I feel that I can help others. I feel that other people will want that. I feel that what's in my heart is wanted by someone else's heart, right? Like that heart thing that I keep talking about is in every fiber of my being. And when you have that, you can move forward with your creations and your ideas with more confidence and more excitement and more enthusiasm and all this great stuff. What happens when you don't? What happens when you don't do these practices and constantly always keep it top of mind, keep your heart right here so you are connected to, oh, I'm looking at my heart. Is this heart pumping for this thing that I'm saying I want to do? Is it mind, heart, soul, body? Am I fully connected? Because when you're not, you are not going to sell the thing. You are not going to talk about it. You're not going to invite people. You are not going to post and post and post. You are not going to send emails. You are not going to create the landing pages. You might create the thing and then let it flop. Or you may actually want it and it might really, really be good and it might really be close, but you didn't do the work enough to feel the confidence in it. So then you don't promote it. So that's what the internal follow through is about. It's always pulling together all of these things. And I gave you a bunch of different ways to do that, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many ways to get quiet and listen. And I posted this yesterday. It's not just listening, it's hearing, right? Are you hearing it? Are you listening to it? It's two very different things. I actually had this thing happen, like this show could have come to life years ago had I listened, right? Because I heard empowerment. You're supposed to be empowering people. What are you doing? You're on the wrong path. I was hearing things while I was going to sleep at night. And so I went down the other path anyway, and I had good reason for it. I had good, logical, smart reason, but I hadn't done my connecting work to find out why I was getting this message in the middle of the night. And once I did, that's when the hearing and the listening comes together and you can take that aligned. That's what aligned action is, right? Inspired action, aligned action, all these things have to come together and that becomes a practice. It's like when people are practicing yoga, they practice. It becomes a thing they do to get centered in their heart and their life and their body every day, a couple of days a week, whatever their practice is, right? A meditation practice, a yoga practice. This for me, for creatives, for multi-passionate entrepreneurs, it's a practice. It's a practice so that you can put your heart into your work and you can put your work into the world, and then that can fuel you with energy. It can come back to you as money. It can come back to you as experiences. It can come back to you in so many ways, but energy meets energy. So when you do this work and you do the internal follow through, that's when the things can really come to life. And that's how this empowerment series, all of these things wrap up together. And then what happens after that, right? Like, so now you've got this, you've got the thing and you're excited and you know it's right and you're energized and you want to put it out there, but you have to know some tech, right? You have to have some of the technology, and that for right now, especially, this is a digital world we live in. Everything is digital, and while the world is opening back up, and thank goodness it is, and let's just keep hope and pray that it continues to do so, I don't think this is going anywhere. The digital world blew up and expanded, and for good reason, and it's here to stay. So there are parts of doing business digitally. It doesn't have to be social media. It could be email marketing. It could be, there's a lot of different things you could do, but you need to know what that is and you need to know how to do it. But you can't even make those decisions until you do all of the other stuff. Practicing your internal follow through every day so that you can make the right decisions on what the tech is and all that. And let me tell you something, you do not have to make this a big crazy, it doesn't have to be a long, big, crazy funnel. It doesn't have to be like a 10-page website that costs 10 grand. Like, it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be a website that takes you a year either. Don't do that. I've done that. I've seen people do that. My first ebook took me a year. It took me a year to make my first. I'm knock out ebooks now in like a day. So don't take a year. I am so excited about this program I'm launching, and it's about a simplified client system where I take you through every single one of those foundational every single one of those foundational processes so that you can be really clear and really confident with a whole lot of energy and hopefully enthusiasm. I got a lot of enthusiasm for stuff, so I'm hoping I can give you some of it. And then I teach you how to do a really simple client system that you can take your clients through to nurture and to offer, right? To give away, to nurture, and to make offers so that you can make money, so that you can make sales, and so that you can build your business, grow your business, and make an income. I am doing this super beta right now, and I have a very limited number of people I'm going to take in, and I have a very limited number of rate right now, a very low rate, and it will never be this rate again. This is for my first out the door beta clients for this one group. So if you're interested, go ahead and let me know in the comments below, and I will send you the details. This is going to be a 21-day system that you can rinse and repeat over and over and over. You're going to love it, and I cannot wait to teach it to you because you've done all this work with me the last few weeks, the last few shows about getting centered. Now let's take it and turn it into something that's real and powerful and has legs and can help other people, and then in turn can give back to you, because that's what this is all about. That's why we do this, right? And I love all the hearts. Thank you so much. And you know what I love? I see that you guys are chatting with each other and saying hello, and that makes me so happy. So, oh, Helen is loving my program. It sounds ideal, and I will definitely send you the details, Helen. Thank you. So let's say hello and see if you guys have any questions. Any questions about today, this internal follow-through theory, concept, and or if you have any questions about previous shows. I'll just give you a minute to pop in the comments. And in the meantime, if you're watching the replay, hit #replay so that I get the notification. And just pop in there that you're interested in the details, and I'll make sure I send them to you in a message. And also, if you have questions, I will answer them. Lizzie says, sounds awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Oh! And how could I almost forget? So my announcement, and I have another story for you. Okay, so I have an announcement and I have another little story that will give my announcement. So because this is how ideas come about, and this is how I put them to life. This is literally what I teach in effect. Like, this is literally what I teach in real life. So I was visiting with some friends. And their teenage daughter, and we were having a sleepover, and we were all in our comfy clothes, and we ended up doing ballet in the kitchen. So because of course you do ballet in the kitchen in the middle of the night, right? So we were doing ballet in the kitchen, and we just had so much fun. We were doing all of the positions and first position, and okay, lift your head and close your ribs and all this fun stuff, right? And then, just the way things naturally go, we started doing skincare. Oh, this is my moisturizer. Would you like to try mine? Oh, this is what I've been using. Here's my serum. So we were sharing skincare. And then it was getting late. And we were like, well, listen, it's getting late. Maybe we should go to sleep. And I said, well, we did our ballet and we did our botanicals, and now we need our beauty rest. So I was like, hey, I really like that. I think I'm going to make that my next series. I was already planning on doing something around fitness and wellness, because being fit and well and strong and having self-care fully supports your business, and dance being part of that for me is huge. So my next series for the next 4 weeks, I'm going to do ballet, botanicals, and beauty rest. And we're going to talk about all kinds of wellness and fitness. It's not just about ballet. It's about doing the thing that makes you want to do it in the kitchen in the middle of the night with your friends. What movement do you really love that gives you that, right? So that's the way this is going to work. I'm actually have a few guest speakers lined up who are going to be joining us and teaching their methods for different aspects of wellness. And I cannot wait until we start. I'm just super excited. So that'll be the same time, Thursdays at 4 Eastern, which, Helen, you could tell me, is it 1 Pacific? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern. 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern for the Patty Rose Show right here. And I have a question, so let me read this question. Can you talk about how your heart is in a project, passion, but lack confidence hold you back? Yes. Okay. So you can be totally excited about the project you're working on, your idea. Maybe you've built it all out. Like this is something that I was saying before. I had done this before, right? I've created programs that were like 97, 98% done that sat on my hard drive. If you have ever created a program and let it sit on your hard drive, listen right now, because that is the lack of confidence, that you didn't connect all the dots so that you could share it. So one thing that may happen to cause that is, holy crap, there's so many things to do and I don't even know the first thing to do. I don't know where to start. I don't know how to go. I don't know who to believe. I don't know which guru to follow. I don't even have the money to do that thing. That's like $1 zillion. So that's one way that could stop you straight in your tracks, right? Another thing is if you don't have let's just say this. Let's say you following a program that says all you have to do is do live video on Facebook. Do Facebook Lives and you'll sell your program and I teach you how. Let's just say that's the program. But every time you do it, you feel like this thing that you don't want to do a live. So what's really important about that is when you're practicing, when you're doing your work, you have to ask yourself, you have to get in deep and find out, is it that I don't want to do lives because I'm a little scared? Or is it that this is not the right method for me? I am not but maybe I will shine really like light up if I'm doing audio, but when I do live, I freeze. So you have to find out for yourself which method is going to honor you too. So that's part of it. That's part of like the things that scare us. They either you're scared and you're going to do it anyway, so because you work through your fear, or it's just not the right method for you. And that's part of honoring who you are, what you're doing, how you want to do it, how you want to live your day. If doing Facebook Live is something that makes you cringe and you've tried a couple and you still hate it, like maybe you don't want to do it. Maybe you want to find another way. How do you want your day to go? How do you want to live your life? And all of those things I think are so, so important, because the idea of having a business and getting your stuff out there is great and fun, but if you're not enjoying it, then we got to go back to them. Why are we doing it, right? So I hope I answered your question. What do you think, Helen? Did I answer your question? Yes, thank you. You said PST, 1 o'clock PST, 4 o'clock Eastern. Yes, and she loves my topic. Thank you. So, look at all those hearts. Oh my gosh, I love them. Tell me, before I go, if that helped clarify the idea of being really excited for something in your heart, but not feeling the confidence to actually do it. So that's where the internal follow through comes in, because you did all this work and you got all this thing, and then you're like, maybe I'll go get this idea. There's another shiny idea in my bubble calling my name, and I think I'll go do that one now because I don't want to deal with this part yet. So one of the ways I find that's super, super helpful to get through that, by the way, is to do stream of conscious writing. I get very, very centered in my quiet time writing, and I allow myself to ask the question. I believe that it's my spiritual guide asking my question, right? Like it's my inner self saying, what are you so afraid of? And then you let yourself write it out and answer as you. And then stream of conscious writing really pulls out what's deep in there, and it can help you look at what's holding you back, and it can help you get to the bottom of whether or not you're just a little scared and you need to work through it, which goes back to all the other exercises. Do you have support? Do you have somebody to call? Do you have a physical fitness routine that can get your energy up? Can you play your favorite playlist? Would that do it? Like, go to the resources, but first you have to figure out, is it just a little bit of fear, or is it really, really not aligned? So Lizzie says confidence is key. Yes, it really is. And figuring out how to continually get to confidence for every single thing we do all the time is the way that we can live life feeling empowered, feeling on top of our desires and making things happen. And with that, I think we'll say this was an amazing 4-week empowerment series. And I'm saying that because you made it amazing for me. I'm saying that because you made it really amazing for me. And I'm so, so grateful for all of you for being here. Stay tuned absolutely for next week for ballet, botanicals, and beauty rest, and my special guests who will be joining in. And in the meantime, please go get your goodies and be part of my goodies group at pattyrose.com/goodies, GOODIES. And if you want to know about the program, it's a 21-day rinse and repeat simplified client system, which you are going to love, love, love. And you could reach out to me in a message or pop it in the comments, and I will reach out to you with the details. I hope you guys all have an amazing, amazing day and the rest of your week and weekend. And I will see you next week, next Thursday right here. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.